It's once again Ace and Steve, who is now taking a nap. He has sent Domo as his representation. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about, I guess like ear products and shit, because I just discovered some newness. On my first video about my earlobes, I talked about my story and how I came to be here and all the things that I did wrong, which is pretty much everything. The whole entire process, I did not do it correctly. I haven't had any like horrible, catastrophic failure of any earlobes, but it's probably due to some type of luck or something. I don't know, but I wouldn't advise anybody to do it the way I did it because I did it incredibly wrong. So I don't want to be giving out fucked up advice. But I guess if you want my advice, you can take it. But here's what I be doing, because I've had 2 blowouts in this ear, and I've had 1 blowout in this ear, but I've had a couple rough stretches also in this ear. I wouldn't consider it a blowout because, okay, well, let me rephrase. I've had 2 blowouts in this ear, and I've ripped this one once and had a blowout once. So, actually, I can show it to you now because my most recent blowout was when I went up to this size. This is a 7/8 from the last size. Get myself together here. Show it to you. Here's my earring. It's made of quartz. It's one of my go-to materials because it's non-porous, and I don't like to wear metals because for whatever reason it makes my earlobe all red and puffy and somewhat itchy. The titanium is worse than the surgical steel, but the surgical steel after a couple of days will still make my earlobe really irritated. So natural stone is kind of like the only shit that doesn't irritate my earlobes. But I've heard it's not the greatest for new stretched piercings because it is heavy, which it is. It's not like, 50 pounds, but it's a noticeable weight. Anyway, so here's my earlobe right there. You can see a bit of the blowout right here. That little piece of skin at the back. That's what a blowout is. You put your earring in too fast and the skin has got too much pressure. It's called the fistula. The skin that actually touches your earring is the fistula. And you get a blowout because you stretch too fast, or you went too big too soon, and there's too much pressure on the inside of that part right there. So and it's like, when you push down on your veins and shit, you turn pale and that skin's not getting any blood. So over time, your body's like, holy crap, I gotta get some blood to the skin. So it just starts kind of turning the inside part out like that. Except mine goes to the back because I always put my earrings in front to back. Usually it turns whichever way you put your earrings in. I put mine in like this. Some people put their earrings in like that, so they'll get it out the front. But I put my earrings in from front to back, so it came out the back, fortunately, so you can't see it. But still, there it is. And actually, if I can get like I've had my ears pierced twice, one piercing on top of the other. And actually, in this ear, part of the reason why I had the blowout was because I took my earring out because the first piercings were uneven, and then I got them pierced the second time evenly. And then I took the earring out of the top piercing and let it heal, so it's got like a little bit of a scar tissue right there. And I think that's part of the reason why I'm having like tearing a blowout right in that area, because the scar tissue. But I can show it to you, and you can see actually a little bit of the pierced hole actually still on the inside, if I can get close enough. If I can get a little closer. See it there? So there's like a little pale knot, and that little pale knot is my rip. And right above that pale knot, there's like a black dot, and that's actually a piercing hole from the last earring. So because I've got all these blowouts, and every one of them except for this ear is like a few years old as far as the blowouts go. I just had a most recent rip in this ear. It's healing beautifully. What happened was I sized up, and it wasn't ripped before, but taking the earring in and out, ripped it. Taking it in and out to clean it, it ripped it, and I just put it back in. They say you are supposed to downsize and let it heal completely before you do anything else, which could take up to 6 months to even longer, depending on how your body heals. I heal relatively fast, so I would call it probably like 6 months for me. That's what I should have did. But I did not do it because I have never done it, so fuck it. Like I said, I'm just doing shit the wrong way, so hey, criticize me if you want to, because I know all the ear stretchers out there that's watching this is like, oh my fucking god, you're just so going against the grain in the book, and you're just fucking it all up. I don't really care. I don't care that I'm fucking this shit up. I do not care, because look at what it looks like with the jewelry in. It doesn't look any different than anybody else's, so I don't give a shit. But anyway, yeah. So that's the problem. So now that I've got all these old blowouts and this new recent blowout, I'm actually just trying to heal those and actually get my ears in a better, healthier condition, because they are not in the best condition because of the way I ditched it. So my earlobes and my skin isn't in the best way. Ooh, my hair is awful, I just noticed. I have to excuse that. But, so that's what it looks like. Here's the other one. The other one, my blowouts, you know, you can tell, like, it's a little bit not perfectly round. It's noticeably not round. I don't want to say misshapen because that sounds gross, but here it is. Let me stretch it out, and that's what it looks like relaxed. So relaxed one ear with the most blowouts, and then here's the other ear that I actually started taking care of a little bit too late as far as blowouts go. But then when you hold them out together, if I can get my ears out that far, see? So, I mean, it's a noticeable difference, but it's a little meatier right in here. But my blowouts usually occur right here in this area. And if you look right there, you can see a bit of blowout right here at the bottom. I can honestly say, though, it was never really disgusting. Like, you've seen people with, like, disgusting cat butt and flakes of skin falling off, and you know, just huge, nasty flops just dangling up under here somewhere. Like, I've never had anything that bad. I can honestly say my blowouts have healed incredibly well for me to have not properly taken care of them, according to some people. The way I properly take care of my body is, like, every piercing I've ever had, I followed the aftercare on. I got infected. It got infected after like 2 or 3 days. I followed the aftercare to a T. It got infected. So I know that there's like bacteria that naturally lives on your skin and lives on your body and works with your body. So when you do that anti-infection cleaning everything, you kill all the bacteria, the good bacteria and the bad bacteria. But whatever kind of good bacteria that I harbor on my skin is apparently slow growing, because the bad bacteria just grows like that. Because every time I do that shit, I get an infection. Like, hands down, every single time, 4 piercings in a row, following the freaking directions exactly, still got an infection. So on the 5th piercing, I just said screw it, and I didn't follow any aftercare instructions at all, other than basic wash it every day. If it's obviously disgusting, clean it. And my piercings healed up just fine. Healed up totally fine after that. Every other piercing I got, I had 14 piercings total. Every other piercing, the other 10 piercings I got after those first 4, I did not follow any aftercare instructions on, other than common sense, and they were totally fine. So I approached the same principles when I was stretching my ears. Common sense. I assumed it was gonna hurt, because I actually had a piercer help me engage my ears a little bit at first, and it hurt, you know. So I figured that was part of the norm. That was just kind of ignorance on my part, you know. But then after a while, I started researching it myself, because I got tired of paying for that shit, and then I knew that, you know, maybe it shouldn't hurt, but, you know, fuck it. I've been hurting this long, it ain't hurt me yet, so, you know, screw it. So that's where I've been at. Anyway, this is supposed to be about the product, so that's like a little bit of background if you missed the first video. So now that I'm trying to actually get healthier earlobes and take better care of my ears, and hopefully, so far it's actually working out, reverse some of the damage that, you know, has already been done. I've been doing this for about 5 days. On Monday, I went out, and today's Friday. On Monday, I went out and bought this right here. Tree Hut Shea Body Butter. Notice the word organic right there. That word means a lot to me. I love organic products because organic products add in the least amount of shit to make it functional. They got natural shea butter out there. It's yellowish in appearance. It's usually pretty solid at room temperature, but then when you warm it up a little bit, it turns more into an oil, and you can spread it. That shit is awesome. I have had a small sample of that I actually used for a couple days, and it's magnificent. No complaints whatsoever. If you want to use that, I would 1,000,000% support that, and I would suggest it, honestly. But like, don't take my stretching advice. But if you need help fixing the shit that you fucked up, you can take my advice on that, because I'm a pro at that. So yeah, I'd really recommend that. But I know in Atlanta, Georgia, it's ridiculously easy to get hold to. If you go to the underground, they got like them little booths hanging around outside the underground. They got it there. You can't miss it. Pick any African dude with some kind of scented oils. He's got that shit. There's a bunch of other places around there that you can get it. It's really easy to find. If you don't live in Atlanta, I kind of don't know what to tell you, because I've only looked for it in Atlanta and Kentucky. In Kentucky, it's damn near impossible to find raw natural shea butter. I'm sure they sell it somewhere. I just have no idea where to tell you to look. I got this right here. I got this from where'd I get this from? Kroger's. I got it from Kroger's, out of the beauty section. I got this from Kroger's, and what really sparked my interest was it was organic. I read the ingredients, and the ingredients are basically shit to make it spreadable, so that it doesn't get solidified, like completely solidified at room temperature. It's got shit in it for that, to make it more spreadable, and it's got beeswax, and it's got some fragrance in it, but you know, I'm not allergic to fragrances or shit like that, unless it's like some fruity shit. Like fruity shit from like Bed Bath & Beyond, yeah, kinda, but you know, like more or less natural fragrances, I'm pretty much okay with. Like anything in like a lotion, you know, like anything that comes from Bed Bath and Body Works is questionable. So as far as my skin goes, but other than that, you know, it's pretty much alright. Like most standardized lotions you get from Walmart and shit, I've never had a problem with, so the fragrance doesn't really bother me. If you are totally like a natural head, I would definitely suggest you get like the raw shea butter off the internet. Also, another good friend of mine, vitamin E oil. This is a vial of that. I do want to point out that they have different kinds of vitamin E oil. There's different potencies. I'm going to explain that because I didn't know that, and that's kind of important. Okay. This is also some vitamin E. Vitamin E skin oil. Notice it's got 10,000 IU. The IU stands for International Unit. That's 10,000 international units of vitamin E oil. And the only ingredients are safflower oil, grapeseed oil, and vitamin E. This I took the label off of, so I could show it to you better, because the label pretty much covers the whole bottle. This is the label. And on this label is 28,000 IU, which means this is more potent, even though it's in a much smaller bottle and it's only 1 fluid ounce, as opposed to this one, which is 4.5 fluid ounces. I wish there was still some. I wish I had left some more in here for you guys so I could show you what I'm finna talk about. But here it is. You can kind of see it running down the bottle a little bit, maybe not. But this one right here is actually a little more watery. I would call it watery. Like if you take the bottle, if you had like this much in it, and you were to turn the bottle upside down, it would all run down to the bottom of the bottle fairly quickly. Is what I'm trying to say. It's not like water, but it's, you know what, actually I got a better example. Hold on. Here we go. This is perfect. This is actually baby oil, like baby powder scented oil for perfume or cologne. But the vitamin E oil that was in this container is really similar in consistency to this. So if you see how that runs, see, check that out. It's relatively liquidy. It's pretty obviously liquid. But this jazz here, the 28,000 IU, is actually a bit thicker. If you can see that bubble in there, you see that? It's actually really thick. And that's why I recommend this, because it's more potent, frankly. Like, plain and simple. This is 10,000 and this is 28,000. So you're getting twice as much and a little bit more out of one drop of this than you would out of one drop of this. And I'll show you a little bit more about the consistency of it. Just the cap off. The way I apply it is I take my finger and just put it on the tip right here, and then I tip it upside down like that, create a seal with my finger so I don't spill it, and then you just turn it back up, and then you move your finger, and I don't know if you see that goo looking stringy right there. That's how you know you got the good shit, man, when you got that goo string. And then you just put it on there like so. One thing about this shit, because it is really thick, I don't want to say it's sticky, because it's not really like sticky, like adhesive sticky, but it's kind of pasty. It doesn't spread incredibly well. Like, if I were going to use it, like, if you needed to put this on your arms or something, like if you were ashy on your arms or on your elbows, I'd be like, you probably wouldn't want that, because, like, honestly, it doesn't spread very well. Like, it doesn't spread like lotion. Like how lotion is, like, you know, you can put a gob of lotion like right here and you can probably work it all the way up your whole entire arm and spread it all the way out. This shit doesn't really work like that. If you put a big gob of it right there, you're just gonna probably spread it out to like right here, and then you're just gonna be really slick right there until it absorbs. Like, the shit, honestly, it does not cover a lot of ground. It doesn't spread really, really, really thin because of the thickness of it. But, you know, it's for your earlobes, so whatever. And besides, you're supposed to be massaging your earlobe. You don't just simply rub the shit on and call it a night. You actually massage it into your earlobes. Here, I'll show you. Here's what I do. Here's my technique. I start up here, this big part, and I just kind of rub it. I kind of take it between my fingers like that and roll it. Just roll it between my fingers. This, and then I work my way down to here. And then when I get to this part, what I do is, I read somewhere that it's actually helpful to take your blowout and like turn it in towards where it normally goes, because the skin flips back out. So you just flip it back in. You just massage it back in like that, and then roll my fingers. And this part right here where my earlobe attaches to my face, I massage that part too, because sometimes that part gets kind of sore when I stretch. So just do it like that on both sides. I spend about 5 minutes doing this, both hands, or 5 minutes per ear, if I can only do it one-handed because I'm on the computer or whatever. But I do that. And I've also, like, I just use the plain old vitamin E oil for one massage. I get 4 massages a day. And for morning massage or night massage right before bed, purely vitamin E oil. I also put a dab of vitamin E oil on my earrings every time I put them in. Every time I put them in my ears, I put a dab of vitamin E oil on it. This particular vitamin E oil, just because it does work pretty well as a lubricant, provided that you're not trying to use a giant. I mean, like, I wouldn't use this shit on a taper, or if I did put it on a taper, I'd put a really generous amount. Because I mean, I feel like it can be used for a taper if it can be used to insert an earring, but, you know, you want to be kind of generous with it. You know, don't be stingy with this shit because it's only like $1. Like, literally, go to CVS and go to like the little lotion aisle and get this bad boy. It's like $1.48. It's not gonna fucking kill you. Spring for the good shit. So yeah, there you go. And 5 minutes a day, each earlobe with this, and then I use my shea butter the other 3 times a day, just whenever I feel like it or whenever I feel it's necessary. but I get 3 a day in with this. This vitamin E oil is a little bit too thick for this reason, which is why I've got the 10,000. This is actually my grandma's. She gave it to me. It had like maybe that much left in it, which was actually a really perfect amount. It was almost up to like the bottom part of the label. That's how much was in here. And I took it and put it inside of this. I'll show you what this looks like now. See? That's what that looks like. I put a little bit of vitamin E oil in it. Like, if you've ever seen this shit without the vitamin E oil in it, you know that it's not quite this shiny. And actually in, like, some of the little dips and crevices, you can see a little bit of the oil collecting right there. But I use that, and I put the little bit of vitamin E oil in it, the 10,000 unit, the runnier, more liquidy vitamin E oil in there. Because, first of all, it's easier to mix in with this. It's really hard to get this shit to mix because of the thickness of it. And it's just a pain in the ass. So I use the 10,000. And plus I'm using, pure vitamin E oil once a day. So, I mean, I'm sure overkill is probably not going to hurt you. But, I need this shit out of here too. So it's mostly vitamin E oil. Like, that'd be stupid. I'm pretty sure, like, too much of a good thing can hurt anybody, I'm sure. There's always that saying. But I'm fairly certain too much vitamin E on your skin is not going to cause a horrible, horrible reaction other than probably like your standard irritated skin shit, which in that case, obviously, stop using it or find a different brand or find something else. Man, this shit smells good. Let's take a moment to sniff that. But I do the same deal with this. The consistency, it's kind of solidy, but not really. See? The vitamin E oil actually kind of helps with that to keep it a little bit softer and making it a little bit more spreadable, as long as you use the 10,000. And then let's do the same deal. Massage all the way around. That, make sure you get it inside the hole, on the skin inside the hole. See, you can stick your little fingers in there like that and kind of rub it like that. I did notice when I was doing this that this earlobe right here feels a teeny bit thinner than this earlobe does. It's not like drastically thin. It's not a major difference, but it's somewhat noticeable to me. So I try to massage this one especially right in here. Massaging your ears is a good way to help the circulation and the blood flow keep it together. It's a good way to help your circulation and your blood flow, and it's just nice feeling. And if you have more circulation to your earlobe, obviously it's going to be healthier, because when you wear that earring, it presses down right here and does kind of restrict the blood flow, especially when you get up to the larger sizes. So it's really great to take your earrings out every day for at least an hour, which I do faithfully now, and massage your earlobes like I do 4 times a day. I can honestly say I'm seeing great results. It's only been 5 days, and I'm honestly seeing results, like, already. So it's never too late to start, your earlobe health kick. So I'm a living, breathing example. So eventually